World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Jana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
She was told that she couldn't play with the boys. She was told that they were too big, too rough, too strong. She was told to give up her dreams and move on. She was told to just be pretty, be quiet, be a lady. She was told that women had to stay on their side of the court, stay in your lane. Playing and competing with men was insane. She was told that men and women would never be equal. Dreaming like that would only be leaked to your mind, to your soul. She never listened. She knew that their thinking was old. She is magic. She is the definition of spirit. She is what champions are made of. She is magic.
Greetings and welcome to Access Wealth Nation with Dr. Jana B. Woodhouse, giving you that checkup from the neck up, understanding how money works. So important. I know I've been a little bit around back and forth, having a little bit of delays. Specifically, it's been real rough. It's tax season. It was tax season, and we went through a lot of different changes. Still a lot to do, but still. The world of finance is hanging in there. You know, we still need to be able to do our financial needs analysis. And of course, we need to learn how money works. For those of you who are interested in receiving a free financial analysis, you know, and that is free, then just have to call my office at 646-375-2121. And say that you heard on Access Wealth Nation that there was an opportunity. Because you know, if you fail to have a plan, then you probably are planning to fail. And the reason being is that you've got to have some kind of structure. And, you know, we talk about this all the time. Of course, there's the How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker book, which realistically, we've learned something in this since 2012 to now. A lot of you all got the book, but a lot of you are not reading the book. So we did create an ebook, Change Your Literacy, Change Your Life. And it comes in 3 versions. One version is 86 pages. Most of y'all are not going to read that, are you? Okay. Then the next version is at 20 pages. There's a possibility. I feel like I'm talking to the 3 bears, Goldilocks and the 3 bears. The last version is 4 pages. Now, if you're not going to read that, you don't want to learn anything. And so in this day and age, we are not in a time of where we can't afford to learn how money works. We've got to make it a real forefront for us. I have to say it this way because we're in some serious times. I did not get a chance to see how the market closed today. So I'm really just taking a peek to see if I can just see my market updates. We have been at the all-time highs in the market, which is could be a good thing. It's also a good thing if, for those of you who have your retirement plans and you're doing things like dollar cost average. We did talk about that at some point. So think about here we go. Yeah, we closed at 38 on the Dow, 38,884. What does that mean? That means that the top 30 companies in our country right now doing pretty well for the most part. Okay, so these are things that we should know. This is a time when we have to get our affairs in order and put our 7 money milestones, those of you who have the book, the 7 money milestones, making sure that you have something similar to making sure you have proper protection, that you have your emergency fund, your retirement account, that you are having your debt dealt with. Look at your debt. A lot of people don't want to look at it. It does not go away. Okay. And those of you who have not filed your taxes yet, I'm hoping that you had an extension. If not, get busy. If you do have an extension, know that you have only until October the 15th to get those tax returns done on a personal return. On a business return, you have September the 15th if you did an extension. That does not mean that you wait until those dates to decide to do the returns. Also, please, this is for education purposes, note that if you have an extension, that was an extension to file. It is not an extension to pay. So if you owe, there may be some penalties and interest there. Just know. And if you have questions, I also need to note that if you have questions, please feel free. The door is open that you can request. Put your question out either in the chat. You can also pre-send them to us at Anaj Enterprises Inc. at gmail.com. If you really want the How Money Works book, you can also request the book, but read the book. There's a lot of good information in there. Another thing that we're on a mission to bring financial literacy to 100,000 families in this country. Can't do it alone. So I'm looking for folks who may not have the experience but love people, would like to know how can they get involved in learning how to teach people become financial educators. That is how our industry has changed. It's time to teach people first, because if you know better, you'll know the answer, you'll do better. So you take that time and really call us. You got to call and reach out to us. It's so important. Now I have a special gift for you. I have decided that I need to get to more people and that they need to learn how money works. So we have created an educational series. And the idea was, okay, I have 5 major elements to teach the How Money Works concepts. We have concept, and then we have the fundamentals, and then we have the short-term investing, long-term investing, and then protection of assets. All of those are different classes, 5 different classes. The beauty in this is that every Wednesday, starting next Wednesday, you can sign up for this. You can either call 646-375-2121 and schedule for you, get the information. If you don't have the QR code that's online right now, you can take a picture of it and be the QR code, or you can register at bit.ly / capital H, capital M, capital W, 5 with a capital F, elements with a capital E. If you do that, you can register for the class, and you can put that you heard it from me on Access Wealth Nation. We will be giving these classes every Wednesday, 7 p.m. It's through Zoom. So come on. You don't even have to get dressed. I'd love to see your faces though, but you don't even have to get dressed. Just come on through and learn. Now, let's say you've got class 1 and you missed class 2. So you can go to class 3. It'll come the next week, class 4, 5, and then you can pick it up again. It's like a rerun. We're going to continue providing you with this education, and you can invite people to come on board to hear the information. Again, everyone who attends the class, once they've completed the class, they have an opportunity of receiving a certificate from the authors of How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker. This is a gift to you all. I'm taking my time along with one of my teammates and associates, Dan Brown, to see how many people we can reach to give some general basic How Money Works education. So don't miss this. And it's going to continue going on until the end of this year. So we're here in the month of May. We're starting, and we're going to go all the way to December. And periodically, we're going to have some different financial strategy seminars, I guess we would call them, workshops. Specifically, we're looking at June the 25th, possibly doing one for women. I'm working on that, so don't hold me to it. I'm going to do a women's seminar because we do have the book, How Money Works for Women, Take Control or Lose It. Books are important, and that gives us an opportunity to reach out to more people as long as they read the book. If they don't, then they can always get a hold of the Change Your Literacy, Change Your Life booklet, which is an ebook. Now, we're broadcasting now on the Soul City Network and also through WHCR 90.3 FM. There's a lot going on in New York. There's a lot of mayhem, a lot of energy that just is sometimes a little difficult at times, but we're going to make it through. We sometimes we would broadcast at City College, the 93.7 FM. And I think today's the first day that we could be in studio, but it's too much going on at the colleges right now. We'd rather we'll broadcast, we're here for you. That's what it's all about. We're here for you. Of course, we've got upcoming events, and stay posted. Of course, there's Harlem Week, which is celebrating their 50th anniversary, 50 years of celebrating Harlem. So stay tuned, because we're going to have a financial symposium to help people know not just how to get a business loan, but to also learn how to deal with their money and how to make your money grow. It's a situation of where there's 76% of Americans don't know how money works or how money compounds. The rule of 72. How do I make my money double? These are things that are so important in today's world, is to understand, where do I put my money? How do I make it work for me? Because I work for it. So it's very important that you spend that time. I would say for more information, visit soulcity.me and stay tuned, because we are taking this mission by the horns and riding it, because it is necessary for us to become financially aware and financially free. Now, I know many of you out there have businesses or trying to do business, or maybe there's some of the things that you need to know about how to structure that business. So we're going to be covering all of this along with some other topics such as your taxes. This year, I could not believe how many people I got a chance to meet who didn't understand how their taxes worked. They've been handing their paperwork to someone and they don't know whether it's right or wrong. Or they're doing the opposite, not filing at all. And as the years go by, they end up maybe owing very, very much high taxes. These all can be avoided. You can't treat your finances like people do with their illnesses. When you get an illness, you don't feel well, then you don't do anything about it. And time passes on and you still don't address it. You think it's going to go away? It doesn't go away. What happens is that it gets worse. So put your foot down. This is 2024 and say, I'm going to address, and I'm not going to be part of the largest nation in this world. Do y'all know what the largest nation in the world is? Procrastination. Everybody has an element of it, and they've been doing it for you. So it's important that you take this time to honestly focus in on your finances. Now, I'm going to take a little part for a minute to just tell you, I was watching one of my dear associates, Mr. Lloyd Strayhorn, his show, which is coming to the Soul City Network. And it's phenomenal. What he said was that during this time is a time where it's a new moon. Yesterday started the new moon. And, some people say, well, you're talking finance. Why are you talking astrology and numerology? Do you know that every multimillionaire and some billionaires, they had their own personal either numerologist or astrologist to work with? I heard that. They said Andrew Carnegie had his personalized one. Well, I have mine. Mine is Mr. Lloyd Strayhorn, and he makes sure that I know which direction I'm going in, and it's worked. So I suggest that you definitely spend the time watching the energies that are going on in this country right now and get your finances in order. Put your stuff together. And especially since it's not going to cost you anything, why not? Okay. So as we embark upon this show, it's been a while. I'm just so excited to be able to talk with you. And I've noticed out on the ethers out there, so many people are offering financial literacy, which is really great. If they're offering you financial literacy and it's got a big charge behind it, run. Financial literacy should be very simple and not keep counting on an arm and a leg to get it. Of course, you could do it on the internet, but I think that the most that you could do for yourself is to have what I call your team. And your team is your lawyer, your financial advisor, and your accountant. Get those three in place, and once you get them in place, you may not be able to pay them a retainer. So if they have an hourly fee, find out how much you can ask them in an hour. Get busy. These things are important. So there are many people who have different types of businesses out here. And I cover all types of businesses and talk about on Access Wealth Nation because I'm trying to plant the seed. We are in a world of entrepreneurship. So it's always important that people see that there are different types of avenues that they can take to start their business. And above all, I think that you should go within yourself. And I believe that every single one of us came to this world with a mission. We just don't remember what it was. So the best thing you can do is to sit, meditate, and try to figure out, what is it that I'm here to do? What is it that I can do at 7 o'clock in the morning and go through the whole day till 7 o'clock at night and avoid or maybe running to the bathroom, I'm happy doing it. That's your mission. Now be about it and then find out who's going to pay you for it. These are the things that you should be thinking about during this time. It's an important time. So I've alluded a little bit about, I'm going to be talking to an entrepreneur who happens to be an author. He has an interesting, I believe it's 2 books because I looked at the excerpts behind it, but it has been engaging. And so with no further ado, I would like to bring on Dan Bar Hava.
Hello. Hello, Jana. There I am.
How are you?
I'm very good. I've been very, very interested and captivated by listening to you the last 20 minutes or so. It was very eye-opening and educational and entertaining at the same time. Thank you.
Well, hopefully at some points you can come to some of our workshops.
Okay.
I enjoy doing the teaching. I've been in this industry now. It's 46 years.
Okay.
And so now is the time to give back. But above all, I'm telling you, I am looking forward to you telling me, first of all, I wanted to know, how did you become an author? What engaged you in wanting to become an author?
Okay. Well, I think it goes back to where I'm probably the only child that his parents had to tell him to stop reading.
Okay.
And I think my personal best was 7 books in one day when I was like 12 years.
7 books?
Yep.
Okay.
Literally, my dad used to tell me, put down the book and go shoot some hoops, do something.
Have some fun.
Yeah.
But that was your fun.
Yes. So I've been very creative forever. And I had several venues that I expressed my creativity. But this particular book series that I wrote, book 1 and book 2 of, which you alluded to before, and book 3 is conceptualizing little by little. And the idea came to me, I don't see you.
It's okay. I'm here.
Okay.
He just wanted to make you look good.
I see. Well, good luck with that. So I'm glad. The idea for this book series came to me literally by itself. And when I get creative, I know that the best creative ideas come not because you force them, but because they arrive at you by themselves. So I was in a hotel room in a very nice city overlooking the Mediterranean. It was midnight. I was on a balcony, and the beginning of the book wrote itself. And that was about a decade ago, give or take.
So this was your first book, or?
It was my first book. Yeah, I have credits on 3 screenplays, but this is my first book. Yes.
Got it. You do screenplays. Do you do songs also?
I do. I have credits for that as well. I'm a musician by trade, so I have some soundtrack credits as well. Yes.
Awesome. And so, okay, so this is total creativity coming out.
Yes.
So that's good. Okay, so the name of the book is The 36 Watchers.
Yes.
Am I clear? Okay. We're going to dig deep into this and hopefully they put up where you can get the book. It's on Amazon, right? Okay,
yes.
It's up. Yeah. Okay. So, all righty. Now I think I have the concept, which is interesting because you have a character called Jana.
That's correct.
And Jana, she's the focal point. I believe she's a watcher.
She is becoming a watcher during the course of book 1. She starts as an ordinary New York City gal, just going about her business. And due to circumstance and historical events, she becomes a watcher during book 1, and she's training. And that's what we follow, her journey during book 1. And during book 2, she goes on her first actual mission.
Now, I read some of the excerpts behind the book, and I know there was a part that said, first of all, let me ask this straight. Is this a fictional book?
The answer is yes and no.
Uh-oh.
Because what I love to do more than anything else, and in several reviews, people pick up on that, and we have to be very happy, is that I weave a web of factual, historical events with an alternative explanation and tie-ins to basically form the biggest conspiracy theory ever. So the book is an amalgam of that. So it's a lot of history in it and fiction in it that are woven together, and it's up to the reader to form their own opinion. Oh, that's true. Oh, that's not true. Oh, that could be real. Interesting. That's the best. My best reader is people that will read this and say, wow, that may be true.
So as we read the book, because now I gotta go get this book and do this. Is there okay, you talk about like the pseudo societies, the Rosicrucians, and the there's a few other metaphysical groups that are out there, the
Freemasons,
Illuminati.
Yeah.
So who are the people who create the Watcher? Or can you tell us?
I can tell, yeah. The Watchers, according to the universe that I created in the book, they are a result of the union between humans and creatures outside of this planet. And that bloodline eventually is what created the Watchers. If you could be a Watcher, it is mandatory that you are of that bloodline. If you're not of that bloodline,
of the bloodline. Okay.
The union between extraterrestrials and humans. Otherwise, you would not be able to be a Watcher. And that's why there's a lot of false Watchers out there, hence the Illuminati, the Freemason, the Rosicrucians. According to my book, in my reality, in my universe, all those other groups are imitations.
Mm-hmm. So was this because there are some things that are in the book that deal with scripture? It's a scripture that, and it's more towards the Jewish.
It's general, but it skews more Jewish, probably because I know more about it.
Okay.
But it's definitely includes stuff from the Old Testament and the New Testament, as well as other canonical texts from other religions too.
Okay, all right, because that makes sense. Because I thought about it, I said, well, we know the Torah, but the Torah is really the Old Testament. The Old Testament is used in Christian books and things, and then there's the Book of the Dead, which I don't know. Yeah, okay, we with the same group. And then the Book of the Dead, that has the scrolls in it that predate the Old Testament. So it's a whole lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know, how does that relate in this book? Because now it seems like you have a new society. Would that be it?
That is correct. And the way what I did was I did my research after I wrote the first couple chapters, which was a while ago. Then I set out to research everything I could do. And I spent many, many nights finding this fact, and that fact, and connecting them together to create a narrative that will be logical, and stuff will connect in a way that will say, oh, wow, that could be true. The Watchers are this society and they do that. And I picked things from as early as the first pharaoh to rule the land of Egypt to World War II. And all in between, I created this universe that is infused with all these historical characters, historical events, historical quotations, but with an alternate explanation that basically states the Watchers are in charge of protecting humanity from oblivion. They are it. And the books tell the story from a historical perspective as well as Jana's perspective, because we learn about this world through her eyes. because she is initiated, we are initiated with her, and she's very, very good and healthy in asking all the questions that need to be asked. People love that character, I think, first and foremost because she is questioning everything, and it's fun to read.
So can you paint me a picture of Jenna? Is Jenna a young girl, or
Jana
is she...
starts young. She's a couple years past college. If people ask me about the visual of it, so I would always say, picture a young Angelina Jolie.
Okay,
That would be Jenna.
that's Jenna. Okay.
She's smart, she's active, and she's happily living the nice life. She's dating, but not super seriously. And she enjoys life in New York City, and then everything turns upside down. And that all happens in book one. And in book two, she's more mature, and she's going about her first mission that results in a success. And it's all spelled out in the book. And her first mission involves an actual historical event, which I'm obviously not going to mention because it's a big, big, big spoiler.
Okay, I got it. I think I know what the event.
Well, I do hint because first book is book one, fall, something that happened in the fall. Book two is book two, spring, something that happened in the spring.
Oh, okay.
Book three is going to be winter, something that will happen in winter. And then book four is probably going to be legacy because it's going to be an amalgam. But I'm ahead of myself. Writing these books is exhausting. It's not easy.
Well, you know, it's interesting. I'm listening to you, and the author of The Third Eye, I believe it was called, for what they used, The Matrix, who wrote The Matrix and The Terminator, she sort of said that that was something that came from it. Do you believe, or do you think that you have a prophecy here, that you are a prophet?
I do. And when people ask me to describe my books in a sentence, I'm going to say The Matrix meets Harry Potter.
Okay, all right. That's an interesting deal there. Little bit of mysticism along with the world. So where do you see, well, let me ask this, what came into my mindset was, where do you see, or how do you see these books affecting our world? Because as you said, we have some books like the Terminator and the Matrix came out of it, and it changed a lot of the thinking of people. Matter of fact, the woman who wrote it said that she was the Oracle. And so I'm beginning to wonder, I am a metaphysician, and so I don't mind I understand that there's a power that is within us and belongs to us and guides us. And so I'm curious, because as I was being introduced to you, I said, well, he sounds like a metaphysician with a twist. With a bit of a twist. And then after hearing her, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I said, well, I'm wondering, is he prophesizing? Because there are people who are receiving words. And if you're saying that this is from something outside of our humanness, what would you say to that?
I'm going to answer that. It's going to be like a 2.5 part answer because I was registering everything you talked about. The first thing that you asked is, how do you see this affecting the world? How do you go about that? And my answer to you is, interestingly enough, the first part is here now, Thursday, talking to you because about 3 months ago, I connected with somebody from my past. And we connected, he read the books. And big shout out to Chris, because he is the reason you and I are talking.
Got it. Okay.
He facilitated that.
Yeah.
And I need 500 Chris's.
Okay.
Okay. And little by little, I'm setting about to get them. Because the way he framed it, he said, listen, as far as I'm concerned, everybody should know what you're saying. And the one of the reasons why I think it's valid and important is actually a very sad reason, but I will allude to that because it answers your question. the element of prophecy in book 2, which was written in 2021, most of it. If you read the book, it foreshadows to an extent events that are happening now.
Okay.
And I'm not going to go more into that other than saying that. And part of the reason why Chris read the books and said, Dan, you know, we're going to do this, is because of that. So I am very passionate about my views. I'm very passionate about the world. I'm very passionate about positivity and good energy. I'm very intolerant to bigotry and hatred and stupidity and hypocrisy and all that. And the books are about that. Jana is about that. So I feel that the more people know that, I would love people to read the books. I think they're great, and I would like to obviously sell more of them. That's definitely there. But the way Chris responded to the books gave me a very big load of encouragement and drive, because I think the more people discover these books, the more reactions are going to be like that. And I think it's doing good. I think it's one of those things that if it's in your head, it's doing a little bit of good to you, to people around you. And that's my aim. That's my goal.
I got it. So it's 36 watchers. Jen is one. Jenna is one.
Jana is one.
So
who are the other watchers?
About others, or do we know where the others are?
Okay, so I'm gonna. I've been in that point in several interviews, and I'm truthful now, 100%, and I'm saying that I am enjoying the rapport and connection that we have so much that I'm going to share another watcher, which I never did in all the interviews I did today.
Wow.
I'm going to share a watcher, and it's going to hit the way it's going to hit. Everybody know Judas.
Yeah.
He was a watcher.
Really?
Really.
Okay.
Yes, that's all I'm going to say.
Okay, I'll take that.
That's all I'm going to say, because in the book, it explains that moment that you just had, but he was a watcher.
Okay.
And there are several other historical
entities,
characters in the book, and the book spells out who were watchers, who may have been watchers, that kind of thing. But that's one example that I can state, and I will share that with you, because it's a little bit of a spoiler, but it's very localized in the first book.
Now, is that in book 1 or book 2?
Book 1.
In book 1, we will see the.
Yeah, in book 1, you're going to see that, yes, and you're going to also understand exactly why, and why this, why it's a good thing.
Okay, all righty, okay. So, are these books also on Audible, or are they just in the physical form?
No, they are this. They exist like that.
Wow, look at the art.
It's nice.
Beautiful illustration.
So beautiful. Yeah. It's really pretty. It's really, I'm so happy with that.
Yeah, that's dynamic. What's that behind Jana?
Behind Jana is the evil entity that the Watchers are fighting. According to very esoteric strain of Gnostic Christianity, there is an entity who is the Lord of the material world.
Oh, I am loving this. Okay.
Behind Jana is one facet of how this entity materializes in physical form. And that is the power and the enemy that the Watchers are fighting. That's that. Yes. Yeah, so I have the books in physical format, and they're available on Kindle, but there's no audiobook yet. Somebody said, Chris told me to think about AI making this audiobook, so I'm thinking about that.
That's interesting. But sometimes you just need to have the book in the hand and feel it. There's sometimes
there's something about this physical thing that we miss sometimes, and it's so so very nice.
Because it's an energy that exists, or when I'm teaching people about money and I say we have moved into a world of where we have no relationship with our currency, with our money. It's energy, but we don't touch it. Somebody pays you. Okay. You never touch the money.
Yeah, click and click and click. Yeah.
Yeah. You spend the money. You didn't touch it. Okay. If you give it, you didn't touch it. So there's nothing connecting you to it. So I tell people the best thing you can do is get your check, get it in physical form, put it on the bed and lay in it. Get a relationship with it.
I'm one of the last 4 people in Manhattan that pay in cash. I would say that.
Wow.
Everywhere I go, they say cash. I'm like the first one of the day for these people. So
yeah,
I'm with you. I agree.
It's interesting, but I think that, this is something I would say folks go out, get this book, because we have to feed our minds along with our spirit. And I do believe that the universe downloads information to folks to share with others. And it's all about what we do with it once we get it.
Oh, I like how you phrase that. Because I had instances when I was writing these books that I felt like something was broadcasting in here.
That's interesting, because when my brother Matt and I, we had, and we still have, Hottest Poets, which is an infrastructure system for poets. And during that time when we had the poets in the room together where they were using the computers, some of them were writing stuff they didn't even know what the meaning of the word was. It was just coming down on them. And I said, at that point, God is downloading the wisdom to individuals so that they can share. And it's not going to embrace everyone. It's going to embrace the folks who need to do something with it. So back to, I think my crux question is what do you think these books are going to do to individuals? Are you looking for a movement? Because if you look at the Harry Potter and the Matrix, there were movements that people got involved in, changing. Any thought on?
This is me beating my own drum, tooting my own horn, which I'm not very good at doing.
It's okay. I'm pulling it. I'm beating it for you.
I know. But I do feel that there is the ground for that. I feel that people can identify with this universe, identify with Jana, the way they identify with Neo in the Matrix. I think they can identify with that. And I think it could be, a few people said, and I do have, I told you, I have screenwriting credit and I have some experience in production. These will make phenomenal movies because I write in a very visual way. Mm-hmm. And quite a few people reacted like this. People that wrote reviews and people that read reviews, they say this reads like a movie and this feels like a movie, and the visuals will be phenomenal. So yeah, if you ask me about the movement, and I'm going to be very shameless about it and very unapologetic about it. So I can name things like Harry Potter. I can name things like Dune. I can name things like Lord of the Rings. I can name things like The Matrix. And, ultimately, if I can get somewhere near that kind of existence, kind of materialization, that would be kind of amazing. So
that would be great.
Yeah, it would. It would be fantastic.
Because I'm understanding individuals, especially we as the human side of us, we have a tendency, we want visual, and our imagination. That's why I think in today's world, we have a void because we're on the phone and we're clicking, but we don't, even our children don't have the imagination anymore. I know we used to pretend. You pretended to do something. People don't pretend anymore. I got the video. So
Right.
it would be great to see if that's something, because you said you have the credits, but also the bigger credit is the universe opening up and opening the door for you.
Yeah. There's some scenes. There's epic struggle between good and evil that distort earth and air, and Jenna is fighting that fight with the entity that you saw behind her in the cover of the book.
Mhm.
Like to bring something like this to the screen with the help of the technology that exists today, and then to populate a movie with like their love. There's a character there that is very people connect and love very much. He's Jenna's uncle, and
Mm.
he's the Obi-Wan Kenobi of the story, and
Okay.
he's the Gandalf of the story. And I can name like half a dozen actors that would be so much fun to see them portraying that character. There is her best friend who is kind of like completes her very nicely. So to see both of them interact would be amazing. I would love for that to happen. It's not easy to get there, but I'm going to keep tracking.
Well, it can be in many ways easy. Once you see it, you can achieve it.
Okay.
And if you think, the law of attraction, you can attract. That's why I try to teach people is that if you don't see your wealth or accept it, it won't come. So accept it. Sometimes I remember coming up as working on Wall Street, they used to say, fake it till you make it. Just bring it to you. And you can see this in yourself. I'm sure that this book has, especially the books, and if there's going to be two more, as we hear,
As soon as I can write them, yes.
and that being that could open up the door, because people we right now are in a void, and change has taken place. I think COVID taught us a lot, and I'm listening to when you wrote this book, it was right in that midst of that COVID situation.
The majority of book two, I had to fly away, and I was quarantining for 2 weeks
Oh.
because of COVID, and I wasn't allowed to see anybody, wasn't allowed to talk to anyone other than phone and email and Zoom. So in those 2 weeks, I wrote most of book two
Mm.
because I had nothing to do other than think and write. And in contrast, book one took me 3-4 years to complete.
Wow.
Book two took me 3-4 months to complete. But I don't wish another COVID. I don't want that.
No
Okay.
more.
I can take
Even
2
though-
years to write book three, but no more COVID, please.
And though you said there's a little prophecy here,
I know.
and
I know.
there's an opportunity at some point that you don't know, we might have something, because it seems like in the book. So I'm telling everyone to read. I'm going to definitely go out and get these books so that I can see what happens to Jenna.
Yes, because Jana is so much fun. Jana kept me company during those 2 weeks that I was isolated from the world. Jana kept me company because I was writing book two and what she's doing, because she's going on the mission and she's crossing boundaries and countries and engaging in something that was truly historical. And it is a historical event, and I can't wait, for people to find out about that. And I got to shut up because I don't want to spoil it.
No, we don't want to spoil. We want to find out, because that's what, when you're reading the book, you want to get to the end to find out what happens. And if there's a book 3 and 4, so we know that, well, she's alive. So
Yeah.
let's see what happens.
She is. I can say that she's alive. Yes. Jana is alive. That's a good conclusion from that.
That's a good conclusion. So what kind of message would you like to give to people in this world? You are an author, and in your mindset, what is it that you feel that you can do to help this world?
I'm extremely fortunate. I'm a very fortunate individual in that I spend my days and make my living in positivity. I am part of what makes people's lives positive. My bread and butter is teaching music. And that means that when people come to me, I give them something that enlightens and enriches and is a good thing. So my message to everybody I interact with is that positivity is the most important thing that we can have. And I'm lucky because I have good friends that are, lawyers and doctors and accountants and construction workers. And, that's not necessarily fun to do.
No.
No. And what I'm doing is fun. For the most part, it's a lot of fun. So I'm very fortunate this way. So I'm spoiled. And I know that. But my message is that positivity is the most important thing that we can have anywhere we can get it. And, today in my building downstairs, they're changing the lock because that door is like 200 years old. It's about time to change the lock there. And I went downstairs and I went to the store and I saw the guys were working there. So I bought, a couple drinks and a couple snacks, and I came and I gave them. I said, guys, this is for you because I appreciate what you do. And that's what I mean when I said positivity.
That's really good.
And it's kind of funny because if you read, when you read the books, there is harsh, evil things happening in this book. Because in order for me to have Jana and her uncle and other people worthy for the title watchers, they need a worthy adversary to fight. And people commented on that. My sister, who I love to death, she couldn't sleep after she read one chapter there. She said, Danny, I could not sleep. But in order for us to feel positivity, we need to also be able to get past adversary. And
so how do you stay positive? I mean, in this world today, we have madness. I mean, it's really rough. We've got people, we've got wars going on that look like they're never going to stop. We've got young people who have sort of lost hope, and they're challenging, but they're in a different mindset. We've got all this stuff going on. How does one stay positive? I mean, I work very hard to stay positive.
I do too. And I think that the secret is to hold on to what's real, to reject what's fake. Okay. I think that's a very, very important thing. And I'm lucky enough to be teaching in a place called Manhattan School of Music, which is one of the top schools on the planet. And a big part of what I do is when I talk to my students, I say, this is real, this is not. And engage. I think that, you're asking me some hard questions. I want to be worthy of answering them.
You're doing fantastic.
So positivity is one thing. Keep what's real and be engaged. Like I'm going to explain what it is. Part of what makes me a good teacher is that I never just explain something, ever. I always make the student or the students also engage in understanding what I'm talking about. Okay. If I have to teach you that A is the first letter and B is the second and C is the third and D is the fourth, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say A is the first, D is the fourth. Figure out what's in between.
Oh my. Okay. That's a difference.
That's how I live my life. And that if more people do this, more people are positive, reject fake, and engage. I guess that's my answer to you for what it's worth.
That's an interesting perspective. It's rough, but I can see how someone could, if your mind moves to another level, another way, it can help, because just like you said, you got still to write this book and stuff started coming down to you, downloading. That's the only way I can describe it. And you have a passion, you have a mission. I honestly, truly believe that we all come with missions. It's just that we have to be about trying to find out what it is. And once we know what it is, then we got to be about the business doing it and then find somebody to pay us for it.
That's right. You just spelled it out nicely. I cannot do better than that.
But this is really wonderful. Now, are you originally from here in America or
No, born and raised in Jerusalem, Israel.
really? Oh, that's interesting.
It's the most spiritual place on the planet.
Mm.
Yeah, and I'm not a religious person. I'm very spiritual. And
Mm-hmm.
I was born and raised a stone throw from the Wailing Wall and the Tomb of Solomon. And, Jerusalem is crazy like that. You turn a stone, you find a prophet. That's how it works. It's the energy of the city is very, very crazy in that way. But that's where I was born and raised there. I grew up there, went to school, some college, some military service. I came here following one word. The word I followed to come here was jazz.
Oh, the music.
Yes.
Awesome.
I came here to follow that.
That's
why
interesting. Do you spend time in Harlem?
I'm laughing because, first of all, Manhattan School of Music is in Harlem.
Okay.
Morningside Heights, technically.
Oh, okay. Morningside. Yeah. Okay.
And my first job, I came here with, again, teach people how to be positive. I came here with $720 in my pocket.
Wow.
And my food money for the first 3 months was switching AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, AT&T, Verizon, because every time I switched, they gave me $70. So my first job ever in New York City as a musician was to play keyboard at a Pentecostal church in 151st Street and Frederick Douglass Boulevard.
Oh my goodness.
And I walked in there, I saw the keyboard, and I look at the reverend, and I say, "What am I playing?" So, "What do you mean?" I said, "There's no sheet music here." And he said, "No, we don't read notes here. You just play. You'll pick it up." And I said, "What am I supposed to pick up?" And the service starts, and he starts speaking. I remember that like it was 2 days ago, and it was a long time ago. And this woman at the end of the church gets up and goes, "Because I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. Because I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. Because I'm a soldier." And she starts to do that. And he looks at me and he goes, and that was my best
Oh my goodness.
lesson ever.
Oh my goodness.
Ever.
That's phenomenal. That's a great story. That really is, because it was all about the spirit. That's when
It was all about the spirit.
the spirit.
The pay wasn't good, but I stuck there because it was educational. I was being paid to learn. So that's what I followed jazz. That's why I came to New York, and that's why I am in New York.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I used to play. I got to go back to playing. I love the piano, but I could never get to the jazz part because it seemed like I needed the sheet music to explain the chords. And, it was like, there's no music. It's a feeling. It's the
Can I give you another one, or can I give you another quick story? Or is that
Sure. We got time.
So I was a classical kid, like I was sheet music. I was talented. And my father took me. It's very funny because he made a mistake. They told him when I was 6 years old that I'm talented, but he heard that they told him I had perfect pitch, which I didn't.
Oh,
and I don't have. But that's why he was very insistent that I keep playing, and it was right. And I was a classical kid. And I finished my lesson one time, whatever it was, Beethoven, Mozart, Chopin. I was walking down the hallway of this conservatory, and I heard a faint sound of something that I never heard before. And I followed it like mouse follows cheese. I was like that. And I had to go downstairs to the basement, 3 floors down, to where the first jazz band of the Jerusalem Conservatory was rehearsing.
Wow.
Because the authorities of the conservatory did not like that. It was frowned upon. It was not serious enough. They allowed it, but they didn't like it. So they tucked them all the way at the back. And I had to find them. And I remember when I listened to that, that did something to me. And at the end of the day, it's what brought me here to New York.
Wow. Well, that is the spirit in action for
And
sure.
and to the church in Harlem, 131st and Frederick Douglass Boulevard.
Yeah, you've just followed the journey. That's what we're here for. We're doing our journey and experience. This has been just awesome. And I'm going to have you back after I read the books.
Please do. I would love to come back after you read the book, and then you cross-examine me on everything. I would love that.
I'm getting ready. That's why I said I will
Please
have
do.
you back.
I would love nothing more than to sit with that. Yes, absolutely.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming to Access Wealth Nation. It was great. And I know we have your information up that they can go to Amazon and get the 36 Watchers. The
Wow.
36.
And thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. You've been amazing. I can't wait for the next time.
Okay, we're going to have some fun. Great. Okay, so audience, you know what you need to do. You need to get busy, go get the book, read the book. We've got to retouch the book.
Yes, read, touch, and let me know about it. I want to hear all about it.
And then we get a chance to come on and ask questions and have back Dan for the. So thank you again, Dan. And thank you, audience, for listening to Access Wealth Nation on the Soul City Network. And again, every Thursday at 6 p.m., you got Dr. Jana B. Woodhouse giving you that checkup from the neck up. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. Good night.
She was told that she couldn't play with the boys. She was told that they were too big, too rough, too strong. She was told to give up her dreams and move on. She was told to just be pretty, be quiet, be a lady. She was told that women had to stay on their side of the court, stay in your lane. Playing and competing with men was insane. She was told that men and women would never be equal. Dreaming like that would only be linked to your mind, to your soul. She never listened. She knew that their thinking was old. She is magic. She is the definition of spirit. She is what champions are made of. She is magic.